Well. If I could sing, I would go ahead and sing and see if I couldn't get this band again.
Go ahead.
Yeah, something about Russia. Whatever
Rush.
doesn't like it. So
Okay.
there's songs that you played. We didn't play but a portion of one song on any given day. They don't understand. Wonder if I could get Donald to do a Facebook. I mean, to do a an executive order allowing us to play music on Facebook when we come on in the mornings.
Well,
What is going
Facebook,
on
I'm
with
going to
this?
have to get that list for you of songs that Facebook has. Probably nothing we want.
Probably nothing. Yeah. Here we go around the merry-go-round, yada, yada, yada. Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown.
And good morning, I'm Lee Barrows.
And my wife just got up here. She's going to join us again for off and on this morning for a bit.
Yes,
And
she went to go get her
get some coffee.
beverage.
Yeah, she needs some coffee, some caffeine this morning.
Right.
It's hard to get moving this morning for some reason. I'm not sure why. It could be because I actually ventured outside yesterday.
Did you? How was it?
Well, yesterday morning, while just after the show ended,
Mhm.
and Robbie, I was down here, and actually I was talking to a guy in Nambia.
Nambia.
I said Africa.
That's a long ways away.
Uh-huh. But I was having a quick chat with him, and she came down, wrote me a note. She said, "We have no hot water." What?
What?
We had hot water when I got up, but we have two different hot water systems here. The water heater that is for the kitchen and for one bathroom and for the laundry room, it wasn't passing any water. So that meant a pipe somewhere or another had a blockage in it. And the blockage, obviously, this time of year has to be ice.
No.
And since it was 10 degrees yesterday morning and it had been cold all week long, all of that built up because we just don't don't run it enough to have to do that.
No problem in my house.
So anyway, I got a little propane heater that I got out, and I got one of those little blowers, heat guns out, and I found the pipes that looked like they were the ones the most likely, the cold water pipe coming into the system. So I heated it up and talked to my gentleman, my friendly guy down at Great Gas, and he said, "I can come out there." No, I'm fine. You just tell me what to do. So
that's all you need. One more thing.
He told me what the issue was, likely because he had 10 calls yesterday about the same thing.
Oh my gosh.
So what you folks, if you have a water heater, like a gas water heater, like I do outside, I wanted it outside. It's easier to vent that way. And and it was close to where I wanted the water. So we put it outside on the back wall, and for years I haven't had an issue. But we have one. So one pipe in there could be exposed if you've got one of those heaters, and just pop that cover off and go ahead and get yourself a bunch of styrofoam or whatever, put around that whole area. Because if we have some more days when it gets down to 12 and 10 degrees and doesn't get above freezing or real close to freezing for a week, then you may have a problem. Or you can also, when you know the temperature is going to drop at nighttime, just turn it on and let it drip.
It's been cold.
It's been cold.
It's so anyway, cold.
Got it cleared out, so I buttoned up again, and I lost a screw, so I got to go in the snow out there, dig that. And then I shoveled off a bunch of areas so the dogs and Robbie could get out and do, so the dogs could do their business out.
Well, here's your road report for this morning.
The road report is?
Your road report is the roads are 75% better, much better, but there's still many patches of black ice. Gum Branch was very good. There was a couple places, and the problem with it being dark, you don't see that black ice until you're close to it, so you have to drive slow. Country,
first of all, a lot of people they hear black ice, black. I've never seen any ice is black. Well, the ice is not black. It's the pavement underneath that clear ice is black. That way you don't see the ice.
Bill Fork was good. Country Club to Western was good. Country Club from Western to Piney Green has a lot of ice and still hard snow on it. And in my travels, I saw a lot of tire marks where people had run off the road. I saw a lot of that, but I was able to get it up to almost 35 in certain areas. Yeah, I was speeding, but just be careful and cautious. And Roads are much better now. I know there was at one time last night on Gum Branch towards Rhodestown, they closed the road.
Mm-hmm.
They had an accident there. They ended up closing it for a wreck.
Mm-hmm.
It's, all those years of saying accident rate for it is hard to break.
Yep.
But there was several areas that they did close roads because of the snow and ice, and it was dangerous. And the bypasses are open. In fact, I saw traffic on the bypass this morning, but the one coming from Highway 24, around Sanders Ford, Beirut Memorial area going to 53, that's open.
Mm-hmm.
So schools are still out today.
Yep.
Teachers' choice whether they want to go in. It's a 3-hour delay on that.
Mm-hmm.
So
a lot of other areas are open up. County government's opening up.
Yes, cities opening up.
10:30 or so.
It's a 3-hour delay on most of them. So
y'all just, if you want to go somewhere, and you don't have to today, because I know they're going to have limited number of personnel. If you work, I didn't no matter where you work, but if you live out somewhere in the sticks,
yes,
not just far away, where they don't have the roads being plowed or salted or whatever, you might not be able to get in.
Right.
So there's this. The county may have some limited number of individuals working the city. The same thing. So if you don't have to be there today, just don't do it.
Well, I had to turn off social media yesterday for a little while because this was going on my page, and I saw so many posts of people complaining. Oswego County has only got 3 snow plows. They ran out of salt, blah, blah, blah. Why did they do this to us? They've not picked up our trash, and I pay taxes. I'm like, y'all knew this was coming.
First,
it's not the end of the world.
County does not salt roads, okay?
That's right.
The North Carolina Department of Transportation does that. I don't know that they ran out of anything.
And they don't have snow plows.
And I'm glad they don't.
They have blades that they use for other things.
They will attach it to a truck or whatever in case of certain situations. Now, the reason they don't have snow plows is kind of simple. Every 6 or 10 years when we have a snowstorm, imagine going out there trying to start one of those things that hasn't been run in the last 6 or 10 years.
Exactly.
It ain't going to start. Then they're going to have to get maintenance crews in to repair them, to get them up to speed. Imagine parking your car somewhere for 6 years. It's not going to run.
I want to say that I think DOT has done a fabulous job. I think Sheriff's Office, Public Safety Office, Jacksonville, Oswego County EOC, they've all done a fabulous job. And people need to stop and remember, we are a beach community.
Yes.
We very seldom get snow or ice.
We can react very quickly when we know a storm is coming in or hurricanes coming in, and we're prepared for those things. We plan for those things. We train for them. Emergency personnel train for them. They train for school shooting, active school shooters. They train for all sorts of things that are a likelihood or a possibility.
Right.
A snowstorm every 6 or 10 years. Why?
Yeah.
Why bother?
Yeah. How long?
Sit back and take a day or two off, y'all.
How long were we locked up in the house during the COVID restrictions and mandates?
14 years. That's what it felt like.
Right. That's
about what it felt like.
And it's been what? How long has it been here? It came in Wednesday night. Was it Wednesday night?
No, Tuesday night, Wednesday.
That's right. So you got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Well, today you can actually get out. I would just be careful. But if you don't have to go out,
you don't have to go out. You hopefully, according to my supermarket down the street here that I went to visit yesterday, because I was planning to do something and I got a late start on it. And then I lost the recipe. I couldn't get the thing to do what I wanted it to do. But anywho, I had a backup plan because when I went there, I found a pizza on sale, one of those 16-inch big old pizzas.
No. Was it one of those freshly made?
You have to put it in the oven and cook it yourself.
Yes.
So backup plan was, I asked Robbie, pleadingly asked her if she was okay with something else.
He
and
was
she said,
so pitiful.
It was pitiful. Well, I'd already been out there shoveling the walks and everything else and went shopping. So I was just trying to get it palatable to be able to operate around here.
Right.
As normal as we could, because we have guests coming in today too.
That's right.
So anyway.
You did a good job.
I was worn out.
I wasn't expecting the driveway to be all nice and.
Well, I didn't do the driveway. Okay.
No,
Mother Nature took care of that.
Yes.
So that was okay.
We're looking at highs of 43 today.
Oh, it'll be a heat wave.
So, heat wave is
10 degrees yesterday morning at this time. 10 degrees yesterday morning at this time outside. Right now, it's 24 degrees.
It was so cold that I actually saw a lawyer with his hands in his own pockets.
Ooh.
That's how cold it was.
It was cold.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, they're looking for
Robbie's looking at me like, really?
nothing. We almost hit 40 yesterday. Is knocking on 40's door. Didn't make it, but anyway, everything seems to be okay now.
It was starting to
on the
melt
road
yesterday,
to
pretty
Minden.
good.
You're talking about the roads and tire tracks leading off the roads, going towards Piney Green, on Piney Green Road, towards the food line. Out there in the median, somebody decided to cross it.
Oh, that. Oh,
I don't know
how'd
why.
that work out?
And there was a bumping, and they were, and then they had to turn and go back the other way. I think they thought it was a crossover.
And didn't realize that the
forget about
concrete barrier there.
Uh-huh.
I detest those concrete barriers, but I'm just saying
The
that.
bottom of their car probably told them all about it.
Yes, I imagine so.
Okay. It's going to be okay. Coming up here shortly, some good stuff. We're going to be talking with a couple of gentlemen. We had Trevor Donnell in here. He is the communication specialist, the public information officer, basically, and more.
We love Trevor.
At the Oslo Sheriff's Office, former editor of the Jacksonville Daily News, plus 3 other newspapers that were in the same group.
Kinston and New
Free
Bern.
Press and Sun Journal and
New Bern, something.
Yeah, that's New Bern, Sun Journal and Daily News, of course, plus one more, I think, but I don't know. He will be in here, and he's bringing along Captain, one of your friends, Bruce Dixon, from the Oslo Sheriff's Office. He's in charge of training and other things.
Yes.
So we're going to ask
He's
him
a hoot.
Is he?
You will enjoy talking to him.
Well, you got to be one of the things he's talking about is one of the things he's talking about is Citizens Academy.
Right.
Okay, we do ask you if you should call in and you got some question to ask because he's a captain with the sheriff's office. Let's stay on topic because we don't have but a limited amount of time with these guys. So it's about the Citizens Academy and what you need to know about it. That's fine. When we have like the sheriff in here about general topics, you can call and talk to him about anything.
Right.
Or even Trevor in at times. But
right.
Trevor, of course, is brand new with the sheriff's office.
Yes,
he's not a cop. He's not a deputy. Doesn't carry a gun or a badge.
We don't know that. They may have deputized him.
No, he has to go through basic first. He hasn't been there. So
Trevor, I'm trying to help you out.
I
want people to be scared of him.
Afraid of cops unless you're a bad person.
Here comes Trevor.
But we'll be talking to them about the Citizens Academy, and I'm going to be asking them about one of their recent graduates from the last school.
Well, I'm sure
I'm
sure there's a story or two.
I think you should convince Kelly and Robbie to go through this one.
You would so enjoy it, Robbie.
You could carry the gun that you stole from me. You could carry that with you.
No, you can't carry any. But let me tell you, I mean,
I won't get with the bullets.
I worked for years in a law enforcement related field. I was not a certified officer. But I did that for years, and wow, how times have changed. You couldn't pay me enough money to be a law enforcement officer these days.
Nice.
No. But the things I learned, I mean, you go inside the sheriff's office and the jails, the detention center is there. You don't realize how expansive it is. And you don't realize all the things they actually do there.
It's a city up there. It's self-contained.
It is a city. It's its own zip code.
Pretty close.
It is. And the people that work there, I don't know how they do it. Their attitudes are so positive. They're so wonderful. I mean, and I made a lot of friends going to this. So there's a lot of stories.
One of the things today that you probably don't understand about the deputies out there, when you join the sheriff's office these days, you want to be a deputy.
Right.
Okay. You're going to be sent to the jail.
Right.
You're going to spend up to a year. That's you're going to be sentenced to a year in the jailhouse.
That's
working. And if you survive it, then you can go ahead finish up your basic law enforcement training and become a certified line deputy, which you can go anywhere you want to, or that they allow you to go at that point in time, put in for whatever you want to do. You want to drive a boat? They've got a boat detail. You can do all sorts of things that are possibilities for you, but you will have some jail experience.
Right.
I never.
That's where they start.
Police officers don't end up having to do that because in most cities in North Carolina,
You don't need a boat.
in most cities in North Carolina, you don't have jails inside
Right.
the police department.
Right.
There are some holding cells here and there, but they don't. It's a different story. But you don't have to be certified jailer to go to work with the sheriff's office. He wants the sheriff here, wants you to spend a year in jail.
Do you remember back in the day, Rayford? I mean, I don't remember. I know the stories of way back in the day because I was not probably born then, but when people were hired on at the sheriff's office, it's like bring your own gun.
Yes.
And they were hired when they were walking.
Police
when they
department too.
Yeah, put on a badge. There you go. Have at it. That's the way it was. And then eventually it got to where you had to take the classes and be certified. And then they gave you equipment. But it's really it's really evolved over the days now and over the years. But it's just, and another thing that really I found so interesting is our crime scene unit, how advanced they are in that. And
they
their
have a
training.
crime scene unit. I was for the most part.
Their training, how advanced they are in that. There is a simulator machine that was purchased through Coastal Carolina, Jacksonville Public Safety Office, and the Sheriff's Office. The three purchase this machine, and you go into a room and it's a huge screen up there, and they've got an operator who will actually simulate something happening, and it's like you're really there, and you're there and you're having to make split decisions on what you should do next. Should you trust the guy that's screaming at you in the garage, or worry about his wife coming out the garage door with a gun in her hand? And they mix them all up, so it's really kudos.
There are scenarios that have been going around for quite a while. There was one that was called the shoot, don't shoot, even way back when.
That's basically what this was.
Shoot, don't shoot, and they would put you in situations. You've got a pistol that is like a light gun, okay?
Right.
And if you're certain situations would present themselves, the guy comes out of the bank carrying a bank bag with money in it, and he's got a mask on, and he's got a gun, and he points it at you. Do you shoot him or not shoot him?
Well, let me just say there were several of our classmates that participated in the actual simulation that got shot. So
I got shot once. I'll tell you about it one day.
Oh, you did. You did.
No, I'm talking about it on the screen, and the bad guy got me. On screen.
Oh, okay.
On screen.
Oh, well, I do have two people that the story that I posted on our page a while back about the Citizens Academy that read it, and they're signing up.
That's good. Well, that's good for the sheriff's office.
Yes.
Now, you've obligated yourself because the City of Jacksonville Police Department has a Citizens Academy. Now you've got to do both.
Yeah, thanks for volunteering
You have
for
no
that
choice.
too. I know, Sergeant Smith. I saw her message.
Yeah. Sergeant Vanessa Smith.
How many weeks is that?
14, I think. Maybe 18.
10 weeks that I did it. Felt like half a lifetime.
It's 3 nights.
No, not happening. That's one night a week. We'll have her in here to talk about it.
We'll get that too.
I'm going to tell you, I did it mainly because you volunteered me, first of all.
You should be glad to do it.
And but it was an experience that everyone should partake. There was young, there was older, there was grandpas, grandmas, there was kids. I mean, young teenagers. One young man brought his mother in with him.
Oh, good.
He ended up signing up as he's taking a course now.
Oh, good.
Yes.
That'll be good. We'll have to get him in here once he's completed.
Yes.
They clear it through the sheriff once you're employed, of course, as it should be.
Right.
Let's take a quick look at,
the
weather time.
It's
looking at the weather. Let's check on the marine conditions out to 20 nautical miles first. Getting less worse. Today offshore, northerly winds 15 to 20, gusts up to 25 knots, becoming northwesterly 10 to 15 this afternoon. Seas 3 to 4 feet, 2 to 3 near shore. You'll need to understand that those seas are likely to be very close together. In fact, it's about 4 seconds apart today. That means 3 to 4 footers are going to be bounce, bounce, bounce. Sounds and rivers choppy, diminishing to a moderate chop this afternoon. Tomorrow, northerly winds 5 to 10. much better. Becoming northwesterly in the afternoon. Seas only 2 to 4 feet. Still going to be kind of close together, but getting more doable. Sounds and rivers a light chop, becoming flat in the afternoon. Yay. Sunday, westerly winds 10 to 15 knot, seas 2 to 4, 4 seconds apart. One more time. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop.
Goodness. And today will be partly sunny with a high near 40. Northwest wind 5 to 7 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear with a low around 19. Saturday, sunny with a high near 46. Saturday night, a low of 23. Sunday, mostly sunny with a high near 50.
And the temperature as we've approached daybreak, the lowest temperature generally is right near daybreak. It's down to 24 degrees out here at the studio. It's about 3 or 4 degrees higher than that at the air station.
Does that say 75 in here?
It says 75 in here. It's time to
cut back the heat.
To let it chill down just a little bit. Whew. It gets hot pretty fast. The Raleigh police officer wounded Tuesday evening remains in critical condition at Wake Medical Center in Raleigh. He's been identified as Max Gillick, a veteran of the department since 2022. Prior to joining the Raleigh PD, he was an Army captain assigned to the 82nd Airborne Division's artillery unit. Additional information has been released about the event that left Gillick critically wounded. It happened Tuesday in a Raleigh neighborhood where police say 70-year-old Antonio Rodriguez illegally entered the home of his ex-wife. He killed a man who was there, 73-year-old John Rowe. Rodriguez died in an exchange of gunfire with Raleigh police. Rodriguez's ex-wife, Jill Roner, who lives at the townhome, escaped to a neighbor's house while Tuesday's shooting was in progress. Roner had a restraining order against her ex-husband, against Rodriguez, who had multiple convictions for stalking and harassing his ex-wife. Get this one. It's getting closer to home. Rodriguez's most recent addresses included Carteret County, another in New Jersey. The charges against him could have netted Rodriguez. Y'all, I'm getting ready to go on my soapbox again.
Here we go.
Those charges against him could have netted him a maximum of 17 years in prison. Instead, the most recent judge sentenced him to 3 years, suspended and placed on probation, no active jail time. Understand this. While he was on probation, he shot and killed a man after breaking into his ex-wife's home. Never mind the court order that prohibited him from being any closer than 300 yards from his ex. 17 years locked up. No way that he could have harassed his wife or hurt anyone else. He would have had 17 years to cool off. But a judge decided to place him on probation for only 3 years, no active prison time. How was justice served? The man he killed has children and grandchildren. Is that justice? Maybe the judge should get a lot of publicity about this one. This case should haunt him should he decide to run for re-election. We hold cops accountable when they screw up. We should.
Yes.
Why not do the same thing for judges? A cop often has to make a decision that can mean the difference between life and death. And we're talking about 1/2 second, a split second decision, literally. No judge is under that kind of time constraint before they make a decision. They've got plenty of time. They can take a pause, come back tomorrow. I'll tell you how long you're going to spend in jail.
I'm going to get one of our local judges in here very soon to talk about bonds and frustrations.
They'll probably fine me just for being here and me asking them questions.
Well, I'm going to tell you, that was one of our classes in the academy. We actually went to the courthouse and had a judge, and it was Judge Roop, who we all know about. And most of the questions focused on bonds.
Yeah, I know.
And bails, and why are people out running the streets?
Bonds, I understand. Bails, I understand. And it's a very explicit, very definitive way you do that.
Right.
It's not perfect.
Right.
First, are you a flight risk?
Right.
Okay, that's the first thing. Are you a flight risk? Second, everybody can be a flight risk depending upon what the charges are against them.
Yeah.
And let's just say you've got no family, you're brand new to this area, you've moved here from, I don't know, Las Vegas,
right,
or how about from another country? And you've committed a crime that could net you a high bond because we want to guarantee you're going to show up for trial, right? And if you don't, then we'll keep your money.
Right.
But if you get a bondsman, one of the things is a bondsman, they can go look for you if they gotta pay out $100,000 if they don't have you, if you're not in court at the appointed time. They will send a goon squad to get you. You've seen the Bounty Hunter.
I used to watch that.
That's the kind of stuff that bondsmen can do.
That falls right along in league with wrestling.
You can
Dog the Bounty Hunter.
You can track them down as a bounty hunter and drag them to court.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so let's move on out of California, Southern California. Lawmen say a hiker was in a group in a wilderness area near the southern border when he and some others were attacked by members of a Mexican drug cartel.
Seriously?
One of the hikers was shot twice in the leg and robbed. And this happened on the U.S. side of the border. Officers say they located the two armed men that did the shooting. The only information made available at this time is that, in their words, the threat has been neutralized. I don't know how the Border Patrol defines neutralized, but years ago we knew what it meant. Since the president has declared the drug cartels, all of them, terrorists, I would take that to mean it's open season on any and all members of the cartels. And they weren't in this country. When bin Laden was declared a terrorist, and it didn't matter to our elite forces where he was holed up, the order given did not mention capture. They didn't say anything about capture. Said, bring him here. Osama was neutralized and dropped into the ocean, never to be seen again by any man. Border Patrol officers have put up with more than enough over the years. They are promising now that they will hunt down and bring to justice any foreign nationals threatening to harm Americans. It sounds like the border agents are invigorated, probably weaponized, and no longer have their hands tied when it comes to meeting fire with fire. Unfortunately, this is the only type of response that the violent cartels understand. Armed with Trump's orders, something might actually get done about this border.
Right.
You never, hopefully. Border Patrol reports 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, since he became president. 3 days. The number of encounters with illegals by Border Patrol dropped 35%.
35%. Right.
Over 3 days compared to the previous 3 days.
Right.
The word spread. We're not going to take any of this anymore. We don't have to. We don't have a quota anymore. We can do as many of you as we want.
Did you see some of those news clips yesterday of some of those really bad gang members that they arrested?
They're going after them now.
They were very vocal about Trump.
I'm sure.
I'm like, hey.
I would celebrate it if I was Donald Trump. If you don't like me that much, I'm doing something right.
They actually had people coming out saying, thank you for doing this.
I do expect the cartels, they're going to get even more vicious than they have been, and they currently are.
Sure.
Okay? There's no doubt about it. They can't afford a reduction in the drug trafficking because that's going to cost them a lot of money. They're going to lose money. When looking at it from my viewpoint, we can't afford to continue losing tens of thousands of Americans every year, those who are killed by Mexican-supplied fentanyl. I blame the cartels all you want, but Mexican government has allowed it.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
They've supported it.
I agree.
They get money. They get paid off. The police get paid off. The police pay the government off. The cartels are in charge, making the cost of the drug running business a dead-end road will go a long way in finally winning our war on drugs. All, not most, all of the fentanyl coming into this country, by all accounts, is coming through Mexico. It's from China. The raw product is produced in China. We understand. But the drug cartels control it in coming into this country. The only reason we never got a handle on it was because of bleeding heart liberals, plus the payoffs to otherwise good men to look the other way. If all were treated with the same justice that the actual traffickers get, the cost of doing business would quickly become too costly. It'd be too expensive for them to do it. Okay, before I keep getting on here, what time do we have our gentleman coming in? 8 o'clock?
8 o'clock.
Okay, 8 o'clock.
We have
Got
time.
a question for y'all after our discussion yesterday, and I'm glad Robbie is here again.
Oh,
Because
yes.
she was instrumental in this question and answer session yesterday when Steve called in. The discussion yesterday dealt with Trump's executive order that declared there are only two genders, male and female. Now, y'all, get your fingers ready to do the dialing. I've got a couple of questions for you. The number is 910. Got it? 333 0139. First, he said there are only two genders, male, female.
I agree.
You got to give me a direct answer, and you're going to be on the witness stand here. I'm going to ask you a question. I want yes or no. Don't try to explain something away. Just yes or no. First question. Yes or no? Remember that. Are human babies born with two arms? The answer is yes or no.
Can't say yes or no.
You didn't answer the question. Are babies born with two arms?
Yes.
Not always.
Are they born
But
with
it's
two
only
eyes?
yes or no. Yes.
Are they born with more than one mouth?
No.
No.
Are human babies born as either a male or a female?
Yes.
There are exceptions to most everything we quantify.
Right.
Are deer beige in color? Are the white-tailed deers we have in this neck of the woods, you can define beige any way you want to, but the beige, or the generally deer-colored beige, are they beige in color? Yes? No?
Brown.
I'm going to say yes.
Or tan? Yeah, but there are exceptions, rare exceptions, admittedly, of albino deer. They've been
Yes.
here, okay? White deer. Same thing they got out there for wild bison, what the early settlers referred to as a buffalo. There were white buffalo or bison out there occasionally.
Correct.
Rare.
Correct.
There are babies born with abnormalities, yes.
Yes.
But the normal is two arms,
Two
two
legs.
legs, two eyes, and one mouth.
You didn't say normal.
When I ask you,
I can see where this day's going.
the normal person will respond, yeah, they're born with two arms, two legs, two eyes, and 2 ears, if you want to go there, and one mouth.
Am I normal?
Yeah. No.
I would say, because I responded differently.
But here we go. The babies are born with abnormalities. We know that. I'm told that some are born with both male and female parts and or organs. I looked it up,
Yes.
not just counting on what we hear yesterday. I looked it up.
Yes.
They can be born. Which box, male or female, do you check? You've got two choices right now. There are two choices, male or female.
At the point that they're born,
At that point in time, what do you check?
you don't check either one
Why not?
until the doctor decides and makes that
Well,
determination.
At the
Right.
whatever the doctor says, what do you check? The doctor generally checks male or female.
Well, I think
He
a lot
probably
of-
doesn't check anything until the determination is made.
Which at some point in time, it's not going to be 20 years down the road. They're going to check
don't they
before baby goes home. They go check one or the
don't
other.
they run tests, the genetics, the whatever, and see
If there are any
if-
other unusual signs, yes.
because in female you have certain things, and in males you have certain things in your composition, in your I don't
Okay,
know.
my reading
Rayford?
yesterday indicates that 1 in about 2,000 babies are born with the situation of having either or both female parts or
Right.
female or male organs, one or the other,
Right,
male or female.
right.
Some of them have both.
Right.
Okay. 1 in 2,000. 1 in 2,000. Male, female, other. Okay, see, there's another box that could be added here. Other.
Well, the thing about it is,
Not male or female. Why don't you have a box that says other?
but then and again, if the medical field is doing tests on that baby, and if that baby has got like ovaries in a uterus, then I would think
How about if
that.
they got other male parts?
But
They do from time to time. They have both.
That's true. But if they're also equipped with ovaries and a uterus, I would tend to think they were female as opposed to the male.
Mm-hmm. But if you're a doctor, what do?
I would check female if that's what they showed. I don't know, Rayford. I'm not in the medical profession.
Other would likely have to be defined if they had a box there that says other.
Right.
And it would also perhaps open the child up for a lot of questions later on.
I don't know enough to offer whether just wanting to identify as a male or female is enough to list one or the other unless you have the actual parts
or
organs. I don't know that an individual can make that decision as to which one to list. I'm talking about an individual who is listed as other.
I have another question here.
Okay.
In the grand scheme of a person's life and their contributions or non-contributions and who they are and whatever, what does gender really have to do with anything?
A lot. Maybe not to you, but apparently to the majority of the people, it means a lot because it's a big discussion.
Well, but maybe that's the problem. Is that we're not looking at this baby as a tiny person who will have a personality and will do things and will grow up and will be
personalities don't play sports.
A human being. Well, you're talking one aspect, which now has consumed the country.
It has.
And so we are defining babies and children based on a commercial aspect that we have created that has made it the issue.
Ooh.
Is it a commercial aspect when you're in high school or in doing a midget league or something like that in grammar school or even before school? That's not a commercial aspect then, right?
In some respects it is, because there are still tournaments and people are fighting over who's who, and parents are screaming at each other. And
so in society, we seem to be forced by certain forces to allow what is a male by normal, whatever that is, standards to decide that he can compete as a female should he desire for whatever reason. So today in society, they want to allow, I'm born a male, the box has been checked as a male, and I decide that, I want to compete as a female. So I can check the box as a female when I want to sign up to play that sport. That's the way it works. Is that right?
No.
I don't know how it works.
Well, that was my whole point. You're trying to say as a baby, when the infant is born, how do you decide? That's completely different from this wokeness that was created over the years to where I could just like today decide I want to be a man, which that's not going to happen. But I'm just saying that's what this whole thing is about, not about a baby when it's born.
So it's this guy who's been a male all of his life.
Right.
His box was checked, male, at birth.
Right.
He's got 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 eyes, 2 ears, a mouth, and the male parts. No female parts listed.
Yes.
None.
Right.
Forget about all of those abnormalities here. He's born a male.
Right.
Period. Bottom line, physically male.
Right.
Now he wants to participate in a sport as a female. Can he have it both ways?
No.
Yeah. Can he have it both ways? Suppose he's not good enough to make the team in football as a male. He just doesn't have it, right? But he's good enough to become a male Olympics competitor. So he can he can jump up and down on the trampoline and do work as a male and compete with the best of the males, right?
Right.
Let me finish.
You're still making sports and competition.
We're not going to eliminate it. These are Olympics deals. These are big deals. Could he also play on the women's basketball team in high school or college claiming he's a woman? And he's claiming he's a man when he participates in tumbling or trampolining or whatever it is. Those are the issues that you're going to have to figure out. Not whether he can be a male all the time or participate in sports or participate or whatever. How about when he decides to sign up for a job and he signs up as a woman? There's no sports involved here. Can he claim that he's a female?
Is it an issue if it's not competitive? And I mean, if for a job, there are criteria for what you're able to do. If you do it, you get the job, presumably. And if you don't do it, can't do it.
What happens when the federal government decides to invoke one more time their mandate that you have to have a certain number of women on your staff and a certain number of African Americans on your staff? If you live in a certain area, maybe Asian Americans on your staff. What happens when our federal government does that again, which they will at some point in time?
Well, I think that's a lot different than the DEI that they've been pushing. Well, because we've always had that in the federal government. You know, when I worked for them, it was always we had to have a certain amount of veterans and certain amount of women and to be equal. But
so where does it stop though?
Well, when did it all start with the wokeness?
The whole thing sort of came about because of the inequities for low-income people and being able to achieve the same things that people with money could achieve.
Which I understand.
And so the only way to fix that was to try to give people into the market, into different things.
Okay, that's
otherwise would not be able to.
That's an argument for equal rights and equal pay and all that sort of good stuff. Not as whether you check the box as a male or female.
But it all comes back to the same thing.
Help us, Jennifer.
Let's go out there to Tennessee where the common sense applies most days. Good morning, Jennifer. How are you?
Good morning. How are y'all? I'm going to, I've been listening and I know a little bit of it's going back and forth between the two genders and the DEI. So I'm going to put my, I think the DEI crap is crap. So you can figure out what I think about that.
Right.
As far as the two genders, I grew up with a girl. Known her almost my whole life. Her first child, when that child was born, the doctors told her and her husband, they said, it is ultimately your decision, but your child has been born with both sets of genitals.
Right.
Predominantly towards the male, but it is ultimately your decision, and you need to now mind you, this was 30 some years ago, and you need to decide now. And he is a boy. That was the predominant chromosome, and that's what they went with. Yeah. And this young man is absolutely fine. He's a nice young adult. You would never, if nobody knew his story, you would have never known he was born that way. But my thing is, now, yes, that does happen. Rarely, but it does happen. But it was still, the doctors didn't say, well, there's he and she and this and this and this. It's still just two genders. And I don't give a rat's appendage of what you are. You can be a homosexual man that's attracted to other men, a lesbian that's attracted to other females. You can be a man that likes to dress up as a woman and with whatever your attraction is. I don't care. It's still just two choices. At the end of the day, when RuPaul takes off all of his stuff and drops his whatever to go to the bathroom, there's one of two choices of what's down there. He's still either a man or a woman when all the makeup comes off.
That's right.
It doesn't matter if you identify as a blooming cat. That cat is
people do that,
either a male or a female. So I don't understand all of this hoopla over it. It doesn't. They started trying to cross all of this with this equity and oh, I identify as a broomstick and I identify as this and that. Mm-hmm. I don't care. I can identify as a supermodel, but I'm still a plus size girl. It don't matter.
This is my Jennifer right here talking.
See, y'all. Jennifer is saying exactly what I was trying to say.
I mean, it doesn't matter what you identify as. At the end of the day, you are what you are.
Mm-hmm. What would happen?
Start crossing the what?
I'm just going. I appreciate what you're saying. I just had a thought. What would happen if we did not make that decision at birth? What would happen? Because ultimately, we have created male and female, or male and female, and have made a decision for an entity that was born with both. What would happen if we didn't do that? I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
I don't know. I don't know what the medical repercussions.
Yeah.
I don't know if the child. I don't know what would happen down what on earth kind of medical. And I'm not getting into the social part of it. I don't know what kind of medical problems that child would have.
That's always the question. Now, let me give you, while you're still on the line, let me give you a little bit more. We're going through all of this. We're discussing all of this. We're talking about it, and the world is talking about it because of 1 out of every 2,000 people born, right? 1 out of every 2,000. Let me do this for you mathematically, and I'm sure my math is correct here because I put the decimal in the correct spot. 0.05%, not 5%, 0.05% of all people born in the U.S. fit this category. And we're putting this much discussion in this country.
Okay. Right.
But the problem is it's not just that 0.05% that may have a problem identifying. It's other individuals out there who do not fit into that 0.05% category who are making decisions of what they want to be, a male or a female. Should we make them be one or the other if they don't fit into that 0.05%? Should we make them be male or female or other?
My big question is, as a parent, when that child is born, do you make the decision then for that child, or do you wait for them to get 18 years of age or whatever?
That really creates 18 years of confusion.
Yeah, I agree.
You make the decision right then.
That's the way I feel. Yes.
You make the decision.
Now, okay, so let's just say you decide to make that decision. Not every this becomes a parent of a 0.05er. They're necessarily capable of making that decision, right?
Correct.
There are parents just who give birth that can barely decide what kind of clothes to put on a kid or what to feed the kid.
You're whatever.
Right.
I mean, we got to make a rule that fits all occasions is what the issue is.
Okay, now this is of all of this crap that we are hearing, of all of this stuff, and with what you said, the 0.05%. If that aspect of it, as far as a baby being born with there's no other way, in my opinion, to put it, with 0.05% of babies being born with the deformity of having both sets of genitals, or predominantly both, there's something wrong.
Right.
How many of them are out there beating the drums about it? Have you actually heard anybody come up and say, "Hey, my name is James, but when I was born, I could have been James or Jenny. And my mom and daddy did. Had you heard from any of them?
Nope, I haven't. But
No.
now I'm gonna pose a final question to y'all, right? Because we're gonna have to move on. Let's just say, and a gentleman just walked into the studio here who may or probably won't want to jump on this one. What happens to a guy? He's born a man. He's born a man. He's arrested as a man because he's committed rape.
Yeah.
Suppose at that point in time he decides, I want to be a woman because I want to be going to women's prison. Do you think that's going to happen?
This is getting out of hand.
No, seriously, that kind of garbage goes on.
It does.
When you get behind bars, it's a different world, different city.
I know that as far as the sport, I know y'all touched yesterday on a weight class. Well, now I can promise you, I have a son that is just as skinny as a rail, and he's about 6 feet tall. But I can promise you, he is one of the strongest human beings that I have ever encountered.
Because he's got no fat to hold him back.
Him work. And, so you can't really say, well, the weight limit, or the weight class or what that. The men and women don't have any business out there in the women's sport.
Okay.
Just because they can't win in the men's class. And that's what a lot of them is doing.
Jennifer,
so y'all have a good day.
Thank you for indulging me this morning because I came in locked and loaded this morning. Okay?
Thank you, Jesus. Captain Dixon is here. Good Lord.
We now get a reprieve from y'all get a reprieve from me, okay? Thank you, Jennifer.
Sure.
Best to Terry.
I need more coffee after this.
Got warm in here too.
Yes.
Again, it's even warmer. It's up to 79. Just turn it off now. Yes. It'll open the back doors or something. Captain Bruce Dixon, how are you, sir?
Doing good, sir.
Welcome aboard.
I appreciate being here, sir.
After that conversation, you might not, right?
I hope there ain't another one like it.
Yeah, he was just sitting there like, what have I got into?
Yeah, where did this come from? So anyway.
Is Trevor on his way?
I do not know.
He better be here.
Well, he'll be here. We're a little early. So
okay.
Trevor, one of these days will learn. I mean, he came from the world of the civilian, journalistic world. He'll sooner or later, where is he? He start listening, hopefully. Sooner or later, he'll learn that if he's on time, he's late.
Yes.
And if he's 30 minutes early, he's rarely on time. Is that about the way it works? Captain, how are you? Doing fine?
Doing great, sir. Doing great.
We've got, you're in here this morning because we're going to discuss a bunch of things, and one of them, the lady to your left. I've just got to ask a quick question there. How did she do in reality? I've heard nothing but her version of the truth from her days. 10 weeks worth, partial incarceration at the New Hanover County Hotel. I mean, the Onslow County Hotel. Did she do okay in that class?
I tried to stay out of the line.
See, now she's going to interfere. Did she interfere a lot, to interrupt you a lot during that?
No. She did. She did absolutely fantastic. Every Tuesday, we had a great time.
It was a good time. It was a good time.
Folks got along fantastic. Everybody became friends.
Yes, I made a lot of friends.
You made quite a few friends out of that.
Yes.
And we're talking about
to Michelle about every other day.
The Sheriff's Citizens Academy, something that started quite a few years ago in actuality.
Hans Miller started it, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, ma'am. Hans, Sheriff Miller was the first one to initiate it, and it's been going hard ever since. And Sheriff Thomas was great enough to keep it going and
get her done.
Been having a great time with it.
Well, I think it's pretty cool. I would be biased trying to go through it. It would be a little tough.
Yeah, you'd be talking all.
No, I wouldn't. I'd just be sitting back listening and
talk the whole way.
When you're in a class like that, are you amazed at some of the questions that the average population citizens come up with?
Not really. No,
not surprised anymore.
The folks that attend truly want to be there. It's something that they are interested in. They're community minded. and most of the questions are honest and have a purpose to be asked.
Do you ever do any myth busters in there when they come up with some wild questions?
Yes, and I wouldn't necessarily say wild questions, but sometimes there are a few questions of
You got to have your hat on before you can give me a ticket.
those type of questions. Yes, and I think myth busting or just a slight misguidance.
Okay.
But all in all, it is an absolutely fantastic time.
Do you weed out the sovereign citizens in these for these classes?
I
know you've seen the videos.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and we have not had a person with that true conviction
Really?
come through the academy. But I mean, they're welcome.
That'd be interesting.
It's just
I get upset just watching the videos that John Legata puts out there about the sovereigns. I want to reach in there and just I couldn't sit in a class with him.
I would find it tough just laughing at them if they from back in the old days. It'd be funny.
Citizens are citizens, and
Yeah, they are.
And the door is open, and
There's no two alike, are there?
The community-minded folks are absolutely they share a common goal. They do share a common goal, and they are community-oriented, and they're about Onslow County. They're about where they live.
I understand that out of from a reliable source, an occasional reliable source that I use, that one of the individuals from the last class has actually enrolled by the Onslow Sheriff's Office.
Not there have been several classes over the past 16 classes.
Really?
I would say we have hired 4 to 6, and maybe more, 4 to 6 individuals.
So this is a great recruiting tool, if nothing else.
Oh, yes.
It is, but the what I like about it is it's not necessarily young folks starting a career.
Mm-hmm.
We have had folks in professions that have been in their chosen profession for 5, 15 years and have said, I've missed out. This is my calling. This is where I need to be. And they have literally changed profession and joined the sheriff's office to help their communities. And I think it's fantastic.
Community policing.
It was amazing to see the different walks of people that attended the class. I mean, like I said, young, older, grandmothers, grandfathers, young kids with their mothers. It was just a variety of people from all walks of life that wanted to come see what it was like. And I thought that was fascinating in itself. And there were some people, I watched that one young man who, after the first class, decided he wanted to be employed. And you could just see in his stature how much he had grown after one class. He was just, you could see it in him that he was ready to embark on that journey.
Invigorated, ready to
He
run.
was invigorated, and it showed in his stance and everything.
Okay.
So I hope he's doing well.
So let's talk about the Citizens Academy a little bit. I've heard Lee's version of it, and I've heard some other individuals who've been through it. And I used to talk with Sheriff Miller quite a bit. I've talked with Sheriff Thomas quite a bit. What do you see? What is the purpose in doing this? You can only, how many is your maximum class?
24.
24
Between 20 and
class.
24 is about the perfect size.
Okay, so you got that, and 14 classes. That's a lot of people that you've been through.
Yes, sir. 16 classes.
16 classes. Okay, so that's pretty cool in itself. Mathematically, that does pretty well. These turn out to be good citizens in the area. They're good to help you in law enforcement as you move along. Do you get some feedback from them?
Oh, absolutely. And what we like to call our Academy alumni.
Mm-hmm.
They come back, they reach back out. We see them at other community events, events throughout the county. So again, they're community-minded folks. They're really interested in Onslow County and how the government operates and how the community gets along with each other, and they always reach back.
What did they tell you when they get through as to what I gained from this, or this is something completely different than I thought the sheriff's office did?
Most of the feedback I get is definite. Wow, I learned a lot. I hear that quite a bit. There are quite a few things within the sheriff's office that the public just does not know is going on. And the Citizens Academy is just about as deep as you can go in without getting a job, without actually getting hired and going to work at the sheriff's office.
I agree.
A sheriff's office, first of all, is a constitutional thing for you folks who are kind of new to the North Carolina scheme. It's in our Constitution. There will be a sheriff's office in every county. Not all counties operate like Onslow County. The vast majority of North Carolina do, that they have a sheriff's office or sheriff's department, depends upon where you are, that they actually enforce the laws. Not all sheriff's offices enforce all of the normal laws out there. They can. A deputy anywhere in North Carolina is sworn to be a cop, period. Bottom line, they can arrest you. They can do whatever. But in a lot of places, they have smaller sheriff's offices who do the constitutional duties. You got to maintain a jail, got to serve papers, got to help in the courts. I think those are the three primary ones that they got to do. But y'all go way beyond that, Onslow County, way beyond that. Your jail, your detention center, I'll never get through calling it a jail. Been around too long. Your detention center, as I've described it, is a city, self-contained virtually. Yeah. Once you're inside, not just for the inmates who are there, but your staff. You got people that basically almost live there.
I can actually say it's the first time, and I enjoyed it.
There are a lot of people that won't say that when they get out.
Right.
But you have a city inside your whole facility there.
Yes, absolutely. And again, when you come to the Citizens Academy on week 2, you get a full in-depth tour of our detention facility, and you see firsthand. I touch the walls inside the cell firsthand, how that place operates. And you're absolutely correct.
Some of those cells, those walls have been touched by people like vicious, cruel human beings.
The detention facility houses those that have been charged with a crime that have not been to court yet. Mm-hmm. They are citizens awaiting trial. And
for the most part, that's the way it is. They have not been proven guilty.
They are awaiting their day in court. And thanks to our way of government in our Constitution, it is innocent until proven guilty. I firmly believe in our way of life, and we treat all of our inmates innocent until proven guilty. They just got to run by a set of rules, and we just ask that they follow those rules. And then there are some that have been convicted.
Yes.
That are
serve 6 months or whatever.
That are serving their time. Mm-hmm. But we try to treat everybody as equally as we possibly can.
And then you've also got some prisoners in there that you're holding for the federal government.
We do have some misdemeanor confinement program where we work with the state, and we do house individuals that have been convicted that are serving their time, and we're just housing them to relieve the state prison systems.
And some of the federal guys that Lee's talking about, they're in there for a short time because you're a federally approved jail.
Correct.
Not all county jails in North Carolina are federally approved. So the FBI, the DEA, the whoever can drop off a guy here and say, can you hold him for me? Will you hold him for me? Yada, yada, yada.
And they pay for that too.
And they pay. That's the good thing.
That's right.
Jail is an expensive overhead, obviously, because you got to feed people, a lot of people. What do you have? Population average 400?
We float somewhere around the 400 neighborhood. Mm-hmm. But yes, and again, coming to the academy, week 2, that very second Tuesday, anything and everything you want to know about the detention facility, the cost, what it costs to run, and the money that we actually make to give back to the county.
Offset some of those costs.
You actually get to go into the kitchen and learn how they prepare the food. And then you go into the laundry room and see how they take care of their own laundry here. They don't send it out. And Captain Dixon had told us a story about one of the female detention officers that had made a suggestion to the sheriff. Instead of sending clothes out to be repaired that have rips or need buttons or zippers or whatever, she requested a sewing machine. You want to tell that story?
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
great.
One of our hard charging employees working there in the detention facility noticed that there was an expense that could be avoided, and she made a request that we purchase the appropriate equipment to mend detention uniforms, the overalls,
whatever. Yeah.
and the division major over the detention facility agreed. We purchased the equipment, and she has saved off the county expenses. I'm going to call it the county dollar, the tax dollar. She saved several $1,000s in that one adventure. So
wow.
So we got some great folks that are worried about the tax dollar, are worried about the county coffers, and we do what we can.
And it's actually female prisoners or detainees that are in there doing the laundry.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that saves a lot of money right
there. Sometimes they
there.
can work off their
sentences.
It's not like working on the chain gang outside, but or picking up paper or trash along the road. But working inside is really cool. Doesn't require that much extra supervision.
No, and we have started an outside crew as well. So we do send out a crew to help beautify the community in the area around as well.
People that are not likely to run.
Oh no, these are folks that are serving their time and looking to peacefully join the community again.
Are there a lot of weekenders that are sentenced to? They have a job on the outside, and they may have done something stupid or whatever, but they've got to spend some time in jail, according to the judge. Do you get a lot of those that come in on Friday nights and leave on Monday mornings or Sunday nights or whatever?
I know there are quite a few. That's not necessarily in my scope of work, but there are a few that have worked out a sentence of that manner to where they'll come in and serve their time over the weekends and then get back out and get into society and get back to work.
That keeps them from being out on the streets where they could possibly get in trouble on weekends.
Yes, sir.
That's actually a pretty good plan. Now let's do a little bit of nuts and bolts about what people can expect and how they can get signed up. You've got an academy starting.
Yes, sir. Our next academy, our 17th academy, does start the 11th of February. So we're a couple of weeks out.
Yep.
I've received 10 or 11 applications thus far. So I got about 9 or 10 seats left.
Okay. I have 2 people that told me they were signing up. So
you can get the application through the Onslow County Government website or go on to the Sheriff's Office Facebook page and look for it there. Trevor, he's going to be putting out some more information on our Facebook page and our Instagram page as the week get closer, as it does get closer. And once you get the application filled out, we can get you signed up as part of the class. Mm-hmm. And again, it's just one night a week. It's Tuesday nights from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Promise to have you out by 9. If you're throwing out babysitter money, I don't want to reach too deep in your pocket and make sure that's covered. And it's a fantastic date night for couples, for married folks looking for a reason to get out. And
do you got a lot of married couples doing this?
We have quite a few come around.
My brother and sister-in-law signed up, or they're going to sign up. So just give you fair warning.
The only thing I asked them to do, make sure it is a date night. They got to hit the Dairy Queen on the way home and get a blizzard.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Nice,
it's not a date unless you have a blizzard.
Now what? Not everybody that signs up. You guys going to screen individuals? I don't want to say you're going to do criminal background check, but you're going to screen them.
We do a background investigation. There are some things that may prevent you from coming to the academy, and those are going to be some felony offenses, some recent felony offenses, just your actions and your demeanor within the county. If you're a pretty provocative in the county, if the negative folks, I guess, is the best way to put it. The
negative nannies, or nannies would be female, but negative people.
But it's all quick background check. The sheriff, of course, has the ultimate decision on who's attending the academy. But I don't think we've turned anybody down.
Really?
That I can remember.
I guess they decide up front, those who may be a problem, they may consider themselves to be a problem. They know it. So may as well not sign up or try to.
Well, talk about some of the other classes that we went to the detention center, and talk about some of the other stuff that we got to
absolutely. Week 3, we're going to have the opportunity to sit down with a member of the judicial system, one of the judges. Lately, it has been Judge Roop, Superior Court Judge.
Okay.
And we also sit down with the district attorney's office.
Oh, really?
So to have the opportunity to sit down and spend some time with 2 elected officials, 2 folks that have been elected into office, and get some one-on-one questions with them is to me is a fantastic opportunity that everybody should take advantage of.
Yeah. Well, you've got a civil division too that a lot of folks, any run-ins they may have with the sheriff's office or contact maybe with a civil officer who is serving anything from a subpoena that you got to come and testify, or a summons for whatever reason. And some people don't respond to jury summons that by mail, or sometimes they have to be served, don't they?
We do cover everything civil does do. And that's the learning process. That's a good education night when our civil officers come in and speak to the academy. Paper service is part of that constitutional thing the sheriff does have to keep up, and then that covers everything from evictions, home evictions, to serving subpoenas, to ex partes on domestic issues.
Ex partes is generally sort of an emergency situation that the other party doesn't have a chance to be heard in court until the order is served.
That is correct.
Okay.
It usually runs about 10 days, and it's usually involved in some type of domestic relationship. But there are quite a few papers that have to be served, and the civil officers come in and do talk about that and talk about the cost. And also the transports. And the sheriff's office is responsible for transporting folks. So if we have individuals that have been involuntarily committed due to mental health issues, or struggling with some mental health problems, we would be responsible for transporting them to their treatment facility. And once they've been treated, transporting them back to their home within the county.
Now, there's an expense there that a lot of folks aren't quite appreciative of these days, because some of those treatment facilities, there's one about as far away from Jacksonville, North Carolina as you can get and still be in North Carolina, right?
We have traveled to Buncombe County, up toward the Asheville way. Yes. Absolutely. So yes, that is the county gas and the county dollar going toward that vehicle that is transporting our citizens, our Onslow County residents, to and from these mental health treatment facilities.
That's a distance that under normal conditions is hard to get there and back in the same day, but you have to do it.
Yes, it can turn into a 12, 13-hour round trip for some of the trips. But having that discussion with these transport officers during the academy is
that would be great.
It's a good learning experience, and we have a van specifically designed to transport inmates or transport individuals. We'll get to take a look at that, the cost of it, how it's set up, how it's built on the inside to safely house individuals that are being transported.
Nice.
And,
so, folks, if you are interested, I get interested every time I talk about it and get to ask questions about it, because I know some of it. I never worked for a sheriff's office. So, your work is commendable. It's to be honest with you, to me, it's a whole lot easier to go out and find bad guys and arrest them, period, than it is to have to deal with everything else. I used to just to give them to you and say, this is yours now. But then after you get them, it's a whole nother situation.
Yeah, the working for a sheriff's office is very, very
All
unique.
encompassing.
And
amazing.
I didn't realize how much actually there was.
And as you said, as a police officer, it's get on patrol, deter, detect, delay, deny, everything you can as far as catching the bad guy goes. But within a sheriff's office, there's way, way more out there. Way
The
more
lights
complex.
are always on.
Yeah, we learned a lot about crime scenes too, about the technology used for that was very interesting.
On the crime fighting side, you guys, you've got a full. I mean, you got everything like a police department
The
has.
whole division there.
With our crime scene investigators are state renowned. They're known throughout the state. There are quite a few agencies that specifically reach out to the Onslow County Sheriff's Office to assist in their crime scene investigations. We're sometimes miles and miles ahead of some of the other agencies around here with our investigative skills, techniques, and equipment. So,
to the credit of two sheriffs that I'm very familiar with, that office has come a long way, baby.
Mm-hmm.
It's I mean, they are absolutely top notch. So congratulations and kudos for the changes that have been made here and the advances that have been made, and as far as crime fighting, as far as crime detection and convicting the bad people, because y'all got to start it. Somebody got to start it.
yeah. Onslow County Sheriff's Office has grown. I started under Sheriff Ed Brown.
Mm-hmm. I worked for him, or worked with him at one time.
He introduced computers within the car, so we had so we did have the opportunity, instead of handwriting reports, we had the opportunity to work our reports on the latest technology. And from there, Sheriff Miller came in and he incorporated more technology coming from his background with the SBI.
Yep.
And really brought us forward as far as the internet technologies and everything else that came with that. And then Sheriff Thomas as well brought everything he had learned from his previous law enforcement and the SBI and brought that in. And we're state of the art. We're operating top notch now.
What I find amazing is that you can actually what time does the class start?
It's each Tuesday night. Starts at 6 p.m.
Okay. But if it starts at 6 o'clock, you got 3 hours and potty breaks, head breaks, whatever you want to call them. You've got these little breaks in there. So you got a maximum of 3 hours, 30 hours. I don't know how you can actually show all these people this stuff, but it's amazing.
It is
amazing
so
what you
amazing.
can get done.
So amazing. Like when we went and did the DWI class and we got to go in the parking lot, we got to go on the Batmobile, and we got to actually watch someone who had consumed alcohol and then try to determine whether, in our opinion, did we think they were intoxicated.
Yeah.
It was all a test. I mean, they took care of the two individuals. It was controlled. But that was so fascinating.
You had previously mentioned some of the questions we get.
Right.
Some of those questions were, how do you know if somebody's
drunk? How can I beat the system?
How can you tell if somebody's intoxicated just by following them or just by talking to them? Well, that question is easily broken down, and we give away all our secrets. We will purposely have two volunteers that we will administer alcohol to, and we'll get them at a level that is considered impaired.
Right.
And then we'll present them to the academy, and the deputy will go through each step of our field sobriety testing and point out every clue, every indicator that we're looking for. And at the end of the field sobriety testing, the deputy will ask the academy students, will ask them straight up what they feel their level of intoxication is, or impairment, what their level of impairment is.
So they get to bet on the 0.0 whatever, right?
They get to make a determination based off all the clues and indicators that the deputy provided.
And there's more than what you actually see, like on a TV program. There's more indicators, because I didn't know about like the one young lady that I was in that class, I was with Deputy Bryson. And she gave her the test where she stands out there and put one foot in front of the other and then hold your leg out. And the young lady seemed to do perfect to me from what I saw. And then the finger test, and she was doing perfect. But what I didn't know is
Probably not. Right.
is your eyes, you learned about the eyes jumping.
Gaze nystagmus.
Yes. And see, I didn't know about that. No, her eyes follow. I mean, she did exactly right with the finger test, like where her eyes would follow, but her head would not move. But like he said, there is a clue with the eye jumping, with the eye jumping.
It's
and
like a
then
quartz watch.
and then like what he brought out too afterwards is she was very athletic. She went to the gym all the time. So her doing the walking test were no big deal.
She could do the walking test right now from here.
I know, but see, and we learned that. So there's more than just what you see on a television program when they have one foot in front of the other. She was doing perfect there, but it was a couple other things that they saw because they're experienced and trained for that, and they knew.
Somebody from your squad in here to talk about DWIs and some of
we had.
But
well, on the radio show.
I got some new questions for them.
Yes. I mean, Deputy Bryson and Nicholas
Sergeant Whelan.
They did come in that one time, but we can have them come back.
We need to do that because particularly after a night out, like the road to check instead of DWI checkpoints, the license checkpoints.
Well, we followed up with the night DWI night that we met the DWI task force and learned about all they did. We come back the following week and we're over at the 911 center. We're over at the Emergency Operations Center.
Fascinating.
That's a place that people don't normally get to go into.
Yes.
That's amazing.
And you walk in and there's TVs all the way around the room. And I did not realize how many cameras are out on the roads here in Onslow County, and they're actually watching you.
Yeah.
That's what I say. If you pull up to a light, don't be doing anything you don't want somebody to see you doing.
Don't pick your nose.
Don't pick your nose. I mean, no, it doesn't really zone in, but I mean, they're right on it. I mean, it's just amazing.
But we spent some time with the director of emergency operations. Mm-hmm. Talked about all the problem. Well, this latest blizzard that came through.
Yes.
How many man hours were put into
y'all have done
to the preparation with just 6 inches of snow, but multiply that by 10,000 when Hurricane Florence or any other named hurricanes made landfall close to or right on top of us. We talked about everything that the EOC does in preparation and afterwards. And then from there, we went directly into the 911 center. And that is something you just don't get the opportunity to do.
It's fascinating.
So we are literally side by side with these 911 call takers and dispatchers. And we have full view of their CAD, their computer automated equipment. And we can see on there where a law enforcement officer is dispatched, how the vehicle is tracked through the automatic vehicle tracking system. We're listening to 911 calls as they come in live.
And we watched one of the dispatcher. They'll take texts now. You can text 911, and one of the dispatchers had her husband text in, and you can read it on their screen as he's texting and what she's texting back. So that was really cool.
That is such a valuable addition to a 911 center because the number of individuals that may be hiding in a closet, maybe not wanting to call 911, afraid to call 911 because the old man is drunk and beating the crap out of her. Right?
Well, that primarily that text to call system is working, and again, you're right. It can be someone hiding in a closet from a break-in or a prowler that they're just too scared to make themselves known.
Sure.
Or it could be somebody that's barricaded in a domestic, just trying to avoid injury and try to remain quiet.
As someone who's kind of been out, if you do use your text to place a call and it is a domestic situation that is an ongoing thing, please delete that text. It's available, but please delete that text from your phone because if the old man grabs it,
oh yeah,
it just adds to his problems, to your problems because of him. That's just a little piece of advice from somebody who experienced that. So,
Oh, that ought to be the story.
mhm.
Then we had the simulator.
Yes, the Jacksonville Police Department, Onslow County Sheriff's Office, and Coastal Community College, we all got together and purchased a video simulator that allows an officer to stand in any type of situation you want to put them in. And they follow along with a video, and that video has different branches where a controller can branch the video to go in many directions. So let's say it's a domestic in progress. The responding officer would stand in front of these 3 screens, and a domestic between a husband and wife would ensue in front of them. And based on what the officer did or what the officer said, the controller that is controlling the scenario could branch to.
It's pretty advanced.
To different outcomes. So let's say the officer that's going through this video training does a wonderful job at verbal de-escalation, is just fantastic in the way he or she handles the call and verbally de-escalates both parties from arguing and fighting. That controller has an opportunity to branch off that video to where both parties become compliant, both parties resolve their problems, and that officer can now leave the house with finishing the call with no arrests, no problems, or if the controller can have it escalate to where the officer does have to use some type of interaction to resolve that. And that interaction can be OC spray if he had to use his spray, taser if he had to use his taser, and so on. So it's just a fantastic learning tool that we put all our junior officers through, and regular training, in-service training, we put our veteran officers through.
Much further advanced than the original 16 millimeter shoot, don't shoot film that I got the chance to see.
Yes.
He gets shot at.
Way,
was killed once.
Way more advanced. And it allows us to use the equipment. So we are using a taser that will cause the people on the video to react to it, or using spray. But we give our citizens coming through the academy the opportunity to get in one of those shoot, don't shoot scenarios to where decisions have to be made in a split second. Can I use my own gun?
And look, the guy at the keyboard at the control panel is always changing up the scenario.
Sure he is.
So when you're expecting this, don't worry, because he's going to give you something different.
Expect everything.
It's really cool.
What is the most interesting reaction you've had from some of these classes that you've been involved in? I know you do some follow-ups from time to time, right?
I guess the most exciting or the best night in the academy, and that everybody always talks about afterwards, is role play night out at Himes Farm Park.
Really?
The old Equine Country. The Onslow County bought it, and it's Himes Farm Park. We meet together out there at 6 p.m. and the citizen becomes the responding deputy. They become the responding officer, and we set up several calls of service. We have role players, actors out there, so the citizen will respond to an alarm activation in a business where they will have to go in and they will see signs of forcible entry, and they'll have to go in and clear that business in the dark at night. And locate any subjects on the inside that may have broke in. We also have them respond to a domestic in progress between a domestic couple. They respond to a suspicious person in a used car lot at 2:00 in the morning. We say it's 2:00 in the morning. And several other calls. We do have them commit a traffic stop on a sovereign citizen.
And that should be fun.
Several other calls of service, and just for them to have the opportunity to walk that 3 or 4 miles out there at Himes Farm Park in our shoes, and handle the calls that every deputy handles on a daily basis, 24/7.
It even came with a real live snake too.
Yes.
The loneliest feeling that I ever had, I was at Curie Beach PD. The aquarium, which has an alligator farm, was outside our jurisdiction, but we responded to their alarm calls as a matter of mutual assistance, right? Mutual aid. And one night that I got the call, of course, the gate's locked. Well, we got a key, so get in, open the gate, walk in. And a soul around, that's the quietest place you've ever seen. And it was out of range of your handheld. All alone am I.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I'm carrying a shotgun. I don't know what's going on. And then walk up that little ramp and to hear the gators. You shine your light down there because this is an open area. Did that sucker get out by any chance? Is he walking around? I wasn't afraid of the two-legged humans nearly as much as I was worried about some gator waiting for me. That's a lonely feeling.
That is a lonely feeling.
Every shadow, your hairs go swing right in the back of your neck. In the middle of it, they never happened during 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It was always at midnight or 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. And there's nobody you can call. You can get unless you get back to the car.
That would, yes.
Give me the human being anytime. I can deal with that one a lot easier. So, but anyway, yeah. Well, thanks for coming in. And so people need to go online. They can go online. Go to the sheriff's Facebook page,
or the Onslow County government webpage, and just type in the search bar for.
So I don't have a computer. I'm one of those old guys. I hate computers.
Call
then
the
we have
sheriff's
9
office.
in here. Can
Just
I go
call
down?
Rayford.
Can I go down there and just pick up an application?
You can come right down to the
Okay.
sheriff's office.
Do
pick
it
up
during
an
business
application.
hours when there's not snowed out.
Yes,
And
we have a notary right there at the sheriff's office.
Oh, okay.
They'll notarize it
So
for
you got to
free.
get something notarized too, huh?
We'll have to-
Okay, good.
We'll have to get part of the application does have to be notarized, but
You can take that to any used car lot. You can take it to any bank. You can do whatever.
Bring it right down to the
Or you
sheriff's
can bring it to
office.
the sheriff's
We'll notarize
office,
it right
sign
there.
I will say, as a participant of this class,
A long
that was
time.
probably the best time I have ever had when it comes to being a part of an academy like that.
They ever have reunions?
Captain Dixon is funny as heck.
I heard that from you a lot, but he's been
And the
very
stories-
serious in here.
No, the stories he tells us
What's the funniest one?
really keeps us. Well, there's so many of them, but this is going back in the day, back a while back. But the stories and things that have happened in the past, big cases that we've had here, he knows all about them and he talks about them. And all the other command staff with the sheriff's office, they are fabulous. And each like when we went to the jail, we talked to the different command staff in the jail, the different people that were in charge of the crime scene unit, the drug unit, everything. Everyone is so knowledgeable and they have stories. So you will enjoy everything.
Did you get to play with the K9?
I was going to tell you, that night we went to Heinz Farm for role playing, which I don't like to role play, so I didn't do very well. But anyway, we got to watch a K9 in action. I wanted to take them home so bad. But yeah, they were hiding different things around the room. And sure enough, we got to watch the dog seek and find it.
So they
And
looked for some dope, did they?
could have been. I'm not saying it was dope. Could have been a hamburger. I don't know.
That particular night, I believe we did have our narcotics
Yes.
I'm
dogs
sure
out
you
there,
did.
but we also have an explosive detection K9 as well. So it depended on which class.
Got to get that dog in here.
Yeah, we
Well,
had
no, we
it was
don't
the
either.
drugs
Not
that we
it
want.
Not
was-
drugs, I don't care about.
Well,
I
I
can't get
do
them in here for
believe-
explosives. 'Cause do they react? I've never been around a dog with explosive. Do they react to something like shotgun shells?
They will react to whichever sense they're trained on, and if they're
great.
trained on gunpowder, the
I'm done.
amount
Right.
can
I'm
be
done.
very minute, and they can
I'm done.
find it.
I'm over. I've been collecting all my
It's
life.
really interesting. And it's just like when we did the crime scene. I mean, they're actually able to show us some of the crime scene photos, like from the Cesar Lorien
Oh, yeah,
case that you didn't hear about on the news. I thought that was fascinating. And then they have a mannequin head in there of a lady that was found deceased, and they still have not ever been able to identify her. That was freaky having that thing behind you. But I mean, they explained about how they reconstructed to get that.
Sure.
They explained on different things on how they determined the angle of a bullet, of a round going through somebody's body. And I mean, it's all so interesting.
Yeah, you folks that want to get up there and lie about where you were standing when somebody got shot,
Well,
forget about it. You know, just forget all about it. Just tell the truth. You'll be better off, because once you're lying, they know you're lying.
well, you even got to fingerprint yourself too.
Uh-oh.
Now you got to do all of that. So it's really cool.
And again, I think the cherry on top is the ride along. So the citizen will get to pick a Friday or Saturday night.
Ooh, full moon Friday nights.
There we go. Payday weekend,
Yes.
full moon Friday night. And have the opportunity to go on patrol with the deputy. And that is a front seat ride. That's not a back seat ride.
We heard stories, and it's just
They're
so
all true.
funny because when the sheriff was there and he said, "Who rode along?" and somebody raised their, "Tell me about your story." And sometimes they were a little embellished, and Chris was just like clutching his heart, like, But all in all, everybody did fantastic on that. But just to listen to some of their stories about being able to go onto a scene and watch what the deputy does. It was really, it was cool.
Sheriff, you're not listening, so don't listen. Okay, if you are listening, turn the radio off. Okay, it's at a time in the past. I'm not going to tell you when or where or situation, but I managed to walk through security with something I didn't even know I had on me at the time. It wasn't a firearm.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't a gun. It was wire cutters. I just had them in my pocket for something I was doing before I got there, but it happened to slip through. I mean, things like that can happen, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't a courtroom. It wasn't a critical situation. I will put it that way. But I didn't tell the sheriff, and Sheriff, I'm sworn to secrecy.
I will add, going to this class, there is no judgment. If you get up there and you're wrong about something, there's no judgment. It's all learning and learning what the sheriff's office does and what our LEOs do. So don't be afraid to go. It is so much fun, and you'll make so many new friends.
Deputies make mistakes. Everybody does. There's no such thing as a perfect person. So, they're just as imperfect as the rest of us, except they got a lot more training than the rest of us.
Right.
So
Right.
We do hold them to a higher degree of accountability.
But you're right. The sheriff's office is like a whole nother zip code, the detention center, all of that. You just do not even stop to think when you look out there at those buildings and at our law enforcement officers, what they actually go through. I wouldn't want to be one today.
No, I couldn't be.
Because I'd be on the news.
I'm too judgmental.
Yeah. It
comes with age, by the way.
It's hard.
And we've been at this good 20, 30 minutes, and we haven't even talked about the 32 school resource officers.
I know that.
Oh, yes, that's right.
And all of the schools.
32 schools now.
32 SROs. I think there's about 28 or 30 schools within the county that we cover. And
that's a special amount of training. It's completely separate. You're dealing with kids.
But unless you come to the academy and really see what's out there, I don't think you'll ever have a good, full understanding of what your sheriff's office, your county, what your sheriff's office does to ensure that we're safe. And
folks, the school resource officers. A lot of folks over the years have kind of discounted them as being, they can't do anything else. So they make them juvie cops. They're out there playing with the little kids out there in the schools. You got another world out there. Yes. You got a whole another set of circumstances when you're dealing with minors, number one, wow, I got 1,500 kids and I'm all alone here. And I've got to be, they've all got their own little personal problems, and kids got more problems than adults have anyway. We know that.
Right.
So kudos to those guys. I wouldn't want to be one. I just, that's a whole new.
That's
something y'all need to ask some questions about.
The middle school and high school kids, their problems can be quadrupled, tripled just off social media, just off that
I drove a school bus
cell
when I was in
phone
high
and-
school. It had 75 kids on it. Oh my God.
But we've got some great deputies doing fantastic jobs within
good.
our schools, and the community needs to
So
know that as
y'all
well.
need to know. So go ahead and sign up for this one. If you sign up too late, okay, we'll get in line for the next one. There will be another one.
We run one every spring, and we run one every fall. So
Cool. Excellent. So,
And I will advise you. Here's one little tidbit of advice.
uh-oh.
Bring a jacket with you because that room is always cold. We all like to froze.
That was intentional.
It was cold
That
in
was
that
intentional
room.
just to keep you submissive.
Well, it worked.
Anyway, Captain, appreciate you coming in.
Thank you so much.
yes,
And
yes, I appreciate the
I've
invite.
been posting the links for everything
Good.
on our social media, and I will continue to share the information on the class. Trevor does an excellent job at putting out the
Yeah, we
information.
get his updates.
And
I
we'll
like him.
continue, and hopefully now, when does it start?
11th.
February the 11th.
Okay.
All right, we'll continue, and hopefully
Don't wait till then.
going
folks.
to try to get some other people in there. Like I'd like to get Stephanie from the 911 center. She's excellent, and she's so knowledgeable. So
That could be one of the best friends of a police officer out there all alone can have.
it's just those 911 operators are their angels. I mean, they can see where you're at. They can they have the GPS.
If you got a
location on
radio
you.
that works.
They can. I can remember back in the day, a deputy saying, 418 into any car 17 north, and I can remember some of them. Well, I'm not going to give out too many details, but it's just like, I'm in Richlands, sitting right at 17 and going right. Those
Well, they
days
can
are
tell
over.
You can tell you where you are now.
Those
folks. They
days
can't
are
lie to us.
over.
Don't lie to
Yes.
the dispatch
Those dispatchers now, they know they've got your back.
because they'll
So,
tell your boss.
yes.
The deputies will call out on a call for service, or they'll call out on a traffic stop,
Mhm.
and those dispatchers are they'll do a timestamp. They'll look at their clock.
Yes.
They'll
And
babysit them.
within 2 minutes, if they have not heard back from that officer, then their alarm starts going off, and they're calling
Jill and I, where
for
are you? You doing okay?
Yes.
Everything
Yep.
fine?
Yes.
they're calling for them. They're immediately sending back up.
Mhm.
So they are the guardian angel over that response.
Yes.
There's my canine. You better
What's
watch out. That's a vicious
That's a
critter.
canine right there.
That is a vicious creature. He will jump in your lap and keep you distracted.
Oh, we had both of them.
You got both of them?
We got to pass through.
Oh, okay. You locked the door, didn't you? She-
No, she said it's a nice skating rink out there, so
Yeah,
they're
probably
passing
so.
through. I think my little one's trying.
Oh, Lord.
I think mine's going to make a great canine, my little 10-pounder.
Well, you have no hamburgers on you. They don't care whether you got
No,
dope or not, but you got no hamburgers, or that's all they care about.
I left the house with a Yorkshire Terrier nipping at my ankle, so
Aw.
I am sure this one is smelling daisy.
I'm
Mhm.
sure, this
Daisy.
one's name is Shockwave. All 10 pounds,
He
10 and a
gets
half
that.
pounds now, and he's named Shockwave. He was named that after a Mossberg shotgun that is a pistol. So, seriously, that's what his classified as. Anyway, okay, Captain, appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Oh, it
sir.
has been a pleasure having you.
Hopefully you
and-
get filled up here very quickly. I'm
reliving.
sure you will be filled up very quickly.
Yes.
So, and if you
Well, let's
guys,
hope so.
and you guys go ahead and do it because you will enjoy it. You'll learn some of the
Yes.
inner workings, and some of your questions will be answered, and some of the myths out there will be dispelled. Myths or whatever you
Yes.
want to call it,
There's-
misconceptions. How about
yes, Yes. Believe
About
me,
how
you're
things
going to
work.
learn. You're going to learn.
that? Can't
It is
shoot first.
worthwhile.
Can't shoot first and ask questions later.
It's very worthwhile to do it, and we'll keep posting
You
about
got
it.
that. All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Captain. Be safe.
Gosh,
Okay,
darn.
dokie. Let's
Just relived it all.
Oh, Lee had a blast in that whole. I heard about that every Wednesday.
It was
In fact,
great.
sometimes when she get home after the class, I get text message.
I'm like, you'll believe what we
Skype
did.
message. Yeah, you would. Oh my God! Yeah, look, guess what they did to me now? They beat me. They subdued me. They sprayed me. That's the one thing they need to do, though. They need to
No.
spray. Well, they need to spray you with a little pepper just so you'll know what it's like.
No. We got to shoot gas pellets. Well, actually, they were filled with baby powder, my understanding.
Uh-huh.
And you get to do all that stuff. You get to, experiment tasing a dummy.
Yeah.
Taser day.
You can't bring a gun. They're not going to let you shoot a gun.
No, you
okay.
can't do
There's too much liability in
but
that.
Hey, it's just so meeting all the deputies and all the commands. They're just such honorable people.
No, they are.
You can't help but like every single one. And the thing about it is, as soon as you meet them, you feel like you're friends already. Mm-hmm. So it's very worthwhile. We'll keep pushing it. You've got to go.
All right, today offshore, winds out of the north 15 to 20 knots, gusts to 25, becoming northwesterly 10 to 15 in the afternoon, seas 3 to 4 feet, 2 to 3 near shore. You'll need to understand that those seas are likely to be kind of close together, about 4 seconds apart, and that's going to make it somewhat rocky out there. Sounds and rivers choppy, diminishing to a moderate chop this afternoon. Tomorrow, northerly winds 5 to 10, becoming northwesterly in the afternoon. Seas only 2 to 4 feet, but again, they're going to be close together. Sounds and rivers, a light chop, becoming flat in the afternoon. Tomorrow afternoon might be a time, and I understand I've got to check it, but I believe that they have closed the speckled trout because of the cold, the possibility of a cold stun event. With the weather that we've had, it would surprise me if they did not close it. You can't go catch speckled trout right now. You can verify it by going to the Department of Marine Fisheries, but don't get out there, catch a speckled trout and get caught, okay?
Why?
Because the cold stun makes them susceptible to
float to the top.
Yeah.
Well, can we just scoop them up with a net then?
You can't do that. Leave it alone.
Do they come back to life?
Some do. Some are too easy to catch. Some die, and reducing the population with the living ones will mean that no little babies. Okay, so you got to don't just.
What, these already dead? Can we scoop them up?
No. Who's to say that they were already dead? Westerly winds on Sunday. Give me a break. 10 to 15 knot, seas 2 to 4 feet. Only 4 seconds apart on Sunday as well. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop.
And today is partly sunny with a high near 40. Tonight, mostly clear with a low around 19. Saturday, sunny with a high near 46. Saturday night, mostly clear with a low around 23. And Sunday, mostly sunny with a high near 50.
Okay, we're only 12 degrees now away from that high today of 40. It's 28 degrees in the backyard here. So anyway.
Yeah. And it's the start of the weekend.
North Carolina's kind of unique here in the South.
How's that?
That's not good.
Oh.
The Tar Heel State's newly elected Attorney General has joined like-minded AGs along the western left coast, the northern states up in the Northeast, and a few states in the northern Midwest like Wisconsin, Illinois, and a couple of others. Mm-hmm. And we know they're left-leaning. They're suing. The North Carolina AG is suing President Trump over his birthright executive order. That's the order that will no longer allow the children born to illegal aliens in the United States to become U.S. citizens automatically. And that's not all. Our state AG has joined the state governor to work on making the Tar Heel State a sanctuary state.
No.
I put out a map, reprinted a map yesterday. It shows North Carolina. It's on our Facebook page if you want to check it. It shows that North Carolina is the only southern state seeking that opportunity to be dumb.
That's correct.
What a distinction.
We were like
for us good old North Carolina people to have as being the only state in the South to become, that wants to become a sanctuary state. I trust that our legislature will say, Governor, that ain't going to happen. I trust that they will put up such a stink that won't happen. Now, it's up to you and me and y'all and these and those. Send your local representatives or pick up the phone and call your local state senator, your local elected representatives. Call your county commissioners, because I strongly suggest that the county commission here in Onslow, Carteret, Pender, every county in North Carolina of a like mind, give up on Wake, give up on whatever that, what's that M word out there in Charlotte? Mecklenburg. Give up on them. Yes. Give up on Greene County. Give up on Orange County. Give up on some of them. But for the others, if the county commissions will adopt something, a resolution in each one of these counties that says, Governor, don't get stupid. You can be a little more polite than that. But bottom line is, we don't want a sanctuary county or state. And in fact, we're going to put out the rule here that we will not abide by. This being a sanctuary state here in Onslow County, we're not going to do it.
Now, can our General Assembly do something about that?
Yes, I'm pretty sure they can.
They're Republican controlled. Let's see.
Yeah. Hey, bye, guys. Tonight, I know what I'm having for dinner tonight.
Do tell.
Whoops. Hold on.
We'll see
What?
what we're having for dinner tonight.
Oh, I like that.
I'm going to Swansboro. Where are you going? It's Friday.
Did you go last week?
No, it wasn't last week. Steve's playing tonight, beginning at 6 o'clock.
That's
Yay,
right.
Steve! So I'm going to make reservations for 5:30.
I'm not going if we're outside.
Oh heavens, no!
No, he'll be inside, won't you, Steve?
Even if he's outside, we'll hear him, and I'll make fun of him.
What are
from
you
inside.
trying to say?
What?
Steve's loud?
Well, he's got a PA system.
Steve, help.
Anyway, but
His
Steve
fingers will be
Steve will be at the
frozen to
Swansboro, the
whatever he's
Borough
doing.
restaurant there in Swansboro. So I'm planning to go down there, and I don't know what I'm going to have. I've been hankering for one of those steaks.
Well, we've been talking about it enough. Oof.
I'll probably get there and order
Yes.
something else.
I don't know. I'll have to think about it. I
What,
didn't
you-
think we were going since last night you were telling me that the dinner you prepared last night we would have tonight.
I know, but I forgot tonight was Friday. We could have tomorrow night, that dinner for tomorrow night, not
Well,
a problem.
it's fine.
Well,
we
just
can
give
have
me
it
the
anytime.
leftovers from last night and
Just
It
they're
hasn't
plain
been
salt.
cooked yet. We're going to cook it.
Oh.
I went to a pizza last night because I got
Yeah.
tired.
Well, I didn't figure that you got anything else other than the pizza.
I didn't, but I had all the rest
He
of the
had
stuff to be
everything
assembled.
ready to go
But it
except
was-
for cooking.
But it was going to take me another hour, and this was already 7 o'clock.
Okay.
So
I've been munching on ham that I bought earlier over the weekend because I got prepared for the storm.
we
just in case.
we got stuff too. But I just had a
swear it's the
hankering for.
best ham I have ever eaten.
I had a hankering for Alfredo sauce last night,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and spaghetti squash.
Yes.
So I got.
Oh,
I
yes.
got the spaghetti squash done. It's in the refrigerator, ready to
No,
heat it
I'll
up.
use regular spaghetti sauce. I mean, I'll make my own, like the tomato sauce
Yep.
with the meat and all that, and pour it on my spaghetti squash.
So do I.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do the Alfredo.
But I
just
wanted
do the
Alfredo
regular.
this time
Yeah, there you go.
with
It's
scallops.
good.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He was
See,
telling me that
this one is going to be a multi-thing prep, which is what
Yeah.
I like to do sometimes.
Right.
last night he was saying that we couldn't have Alfredo sauce because he bought the jar stuff and there was only a little left. And I reminded him that Alfredo sauce is easy to make. It is-
Yes,
it
I've
is
made it.
not
I usually make mine
difficult
from
at
scratch.
all.
Well,
When I make it.
it's a
Which is
little
not
bit more
often.
involved than what you said, though. But it only has like 5 ingredients.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
I got them all,
Very good.
including some secret stuff.
Oh,
according to one of the
I know
recipes.
there's always got to be secret stuff. Anything
Well,
you make.
I found it online. I found.
It's
well,
so everything can
I found
taste exactly
when
the
I
same.
when I Googled Alfredo sauce recipe. Stop it. I where's that domestic
I
enforcement
like
guy? right
having Robbie here. The secrets come out.
I take, but where was I? You messed with me.
The Alfredo
That's a
sauce and the
first.
secret ingredients, and
Yeah,
you
there's
like
some
to
stuff.
take stuff and
Yeah, but it's 5 basic ingredients
Right.
for Alfredo sauce, and but it's a time-consuming process to do it
yes,
because you do it a little bit here, a little bit there. And for mine, I decided I wanted to do some bay scallops, which I have in the freezer.
Mhm.
Okay, what I was going to do is a basic Alfredo sauce in one pot over here.
right.
I was going to have my scallops in another pan that I
Seared
will
scallops.
sear
Yeah.
first, just sear, just what we're going to eat for that
Yes.
meal,
Yes,
because I'm going to have leftover Alfredo sauce.
Mhm.
But I don't want the scallops cooked in it. All right. I want to, once I get everything assembled, and then the spaghetti squash over here, all buttery and seasoned and heated up, which they will be. It's all ready to go. And then you take the spaghetti squash noodles and put them on a plate. Take the hot Alfredo sauce, pour over the top of that. Take your seared scallops, lay on the top of that. So you got a layer of 3 things. And then if you like me, I will pour a little bit more Alfredo sauce on top of the scallops as I go along. And then I eat.
Well, I used to make my own Alfredo sauce, but I find it much easier now to use the kind that I use now, which comes in a jar. You pop the lid and
I
pour
did
it
that
in
too.
the pan.
I did that too. And it's good, but I had
It's
to
much
add,
easier. It is good.
I had to add a lot of stuff to it. And there's only one little, the jar's not but so big and it's like $5 or $6. I could make a pan full.
You need to go when they have the BOGO sales. That's when I stock. I have so much spaghetti sauce in my.
I went in one day
cabinet.
and asked it for a BOGO and nobody had one.
Steve heard you calling his name.
Well, I hope he's been practicing up. So I expect a special song tonight. And I hope he sounds like Petula Clark tonight in downtown. Because we're going to be downtown Swantsboro. Hey, Steve.
You have a
He didn't like that.
Here, go. There he is.
We're going to try him again.
All
Did you
that
hear
promoting Steve, and he wasn't even there.
I did a lot of promoting for Steve. Steve?
Hello.
There you
Hi,
are.
Steve.
Downtown,
Hey, good
Petula
morning,
Clark.
everybody.
You got the lyrics down? You ready to sing?
I was going to tell Robbie, don't try and talk him out of it. You know how long it took me to get to this point.
She's not going to talk me out of it. My God, I've been looking forward to this. I just forgot last night what today. It's been kind of a confusing week. All right, think about it.
Yeah, he just confuses me.
Well, confusion is my most important product.
Got that right.
When you're alone and life is making you lonely, you can always go downtown.
I like it.
Good job.
Time on, sir.
I don't know if I'm going to have the whole song or not, but
I don't
did
care.
work on it for you.
You get me that much and a little bit more. I'll be a happy camper.
You are playing into his
Oh
obsession.
God, yes, I'm it.
Maybe he'll sing.
Well, I didn't know that was quite a challenge, that song, actually.
It
It's
is a
got more notes in it than the alphabet.
Well, the
Put my guitar
little
down about 4 times.
Oh my
the
gosh.
little 4'11" tall lady from Great Britain back in the '60s, she did it. I think you should be able to handle it, you big old guy. You.
Honestly, yeah, it's a good song. It's just the timing is tricky on it.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah,
I've heard it before, so that helps.
There's some real pauses in there that the music might go, and you think you're going to miss the beat or something, but no, she did it perfectly. Obviously.
Yeah. The pauses are the tricky part.
So, anyway, that's what I like. So I don't know. I just like it. I got the original LP around here somewhere.
Do you?
I do.
Oh, cool.
From 1964.
Goodness. Yeah.
I got you. Well, I just wanted to call this morning and say, hey, I heard you talking about me a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, come on out.
Oh, we can be there.
We'll be there.
As long as the creeks don't rise.
Your reservation for 5:30 so you can slip out right one place.
I make my reservations for 5:30 so I can have a wonderful meal while I'm listening to you serenade us. How's that sound?
I got you.
Take some pictures.
I might sneak in there early on you.
Okay.
Let's
Come
take
on
some
down.
pictures.
All right, Steve. We will see you
All right,
tonight.
guys.
Thank
I'll
you.
See you later.
All right.
Y'all stay warm.
All right,
You
yeah.
too, Steve.
You too. Bye. We're up to 28. Well, it's 28 degrees down in the backyard.
And the
so
room dropped to 70, but still comfortable
It's
enough
fine
for
in here
me.
now.
Yeah,
It was up to
it's great.
75.
I know.
But that
and
ice skating rink's still out there.
it'll be gone by later. this
You
afternoon.
understand, that wasn't there last night. But the stuff that comes off
I know,
the
it's
roof
really-
now
I didn't
is
say-
water. And
I
then
didn't say you
yeah, you
did.
blame me.
I was
And then-
just saying that I was sliding all over the place from the time I left the deck. I know why Jake doesn't want to go down there because his
gosh.
little legs are going.
He's got
bing,
4 of them.
bing.
He got 4 of those things. He can stay up, and he doesn't have nearly as far to fall as we do.
we took the shortcut through the
That's a
studio
good
on the
thing.
way back.
Yes,
move. Good move.
exactly.
Anyway, some of this mess will be melting, but as Robbie just pointed out, some of it that was waterish yesterday, it will become waterish again today. But right now, there's a good chance that you're going to be driving along on a road that looks just fine, and you're going to hit a little thing that was a sheet of water a few hours ago that is now a sheet of ice, and you hit it. Do not touch your brakes. Do
Take your foot off the
not
gas.
accelerate. Do not do anything except try to keep those wheels straight. And if when you start going from lane to lane, swerving, oh well, you'll see tire tracks leading off into the bushes.
Yeah,
saw a lot of those this morning.
Roads that have been cleared as the snow starts melting and it sort of leaks on to the road. Yeah, it's likely to be icy.
Just be careful, everyone. It doesn't hurt to leave a little earlier so you have plenty of time and you can slow yourself down.
I think we're going to leave right now to go to Swansboro. We got to be there by 5:30.
It's the getting back that's worrying me.
Nah, it'll be fine.
The roads are pretty clear right now. The main roads. The main roads. There's patches of ice, but
pretty
they're
sure
clear.
24 will be fine because we're not expecting any more precipitation.
Yeah.
I never knew when I came up with that word.
Yeah, our road's even good except for that one little
snow
bit right at the bottom
I told you
of the
I
hill.
was listening to different meteorologists talk about their predictions for February. I sent them hate mail. It's like,
if I find one person, where's Kelly when we need her to bash right now? Because Kelly, if you're listening, you're the reason we got all this mess out here. And look what it did to you.
All of the snow lovers manifested this.
She's not going to drive in it, but she's going to go out in it and constantly fall.
And jump up and down and carry on. And
stay in the house.
Yeah. Get some bubble wrap.
She needs
yourself in bubble wrap. Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm just glad she wasn't on the highway because I know she's got a lead foot. We've seen her.
We've heard her come in the morning. We've heard the sirens after she's parked.
Yeah, and she tries to use our driveway to hide in. That's
she's hiding.
Okay, we will see you Monday morning. Have a great weekend. Do stay warm and be safe. The stuff is nothing to play in. You're going to get hurt unless you're a little midget built right down to the ground like a little 2-year-old. You got a long ways to fall.
My little dog,
and the older you are, the more damage you will do to those brittle bones that we have.
My little dog, when he goes out into the backyard, the only thing you can see is his head. It's so cute.
Oh, my. Yep. Okay, have a great weekend. We will see you Monday morning. I have no idea who we're going to have next week. But
Potluck. Yeah, some of the people that I talked about coming in this past week, but due to the weather, I'm going to see if I can get them scheduled for next week.
I wonder where Trevor went. I bet. Well, he has to come from Newbern, so he may have had a.
I may have misunderstood him, but I thought he said he was coming. But I will take the blame for him not showing up. I probably misunderstood.
Okay.
It's just my fault.
May as well blame somebody.
Just blame
it's yours. Okay.
That's right.
See you Monday morning. Have a great weekend. Be safe. We are live and local Real Talk. And thanks to Robbie. This is day number 3 you've been in here.
Thank you, Robbie.
I know.
It's been great. Watching you.
Lee's been in here.
You've
been in here. You were here Monday, right?
I've been here every day, but
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
We're here 4 days.
I think it's my second day in a year that I've missed. Been here every day.
That's good. We will see you Monday morning. Be safe out there. And thank you, Robbie, for coming in.
You're welcome. Thank you, Robbie.
To put up with me.
Come every day.
She's welcome. She can come in anytime she wants.
It got interesting. I was like, ding, 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 ding.
I can take a break when she's in here. She can talk all about me behind my back.
I was ringing the bell for Robbie.
Lee's keeping score, and Robbie's up 10-1, right?
Yes.
All right. Bye, y'all.